Yes, good morning, dear children. Children, in the last class, we had learned about the formation of how there is a negative anion and positive cation will takes place. Yes. So in this class, so little we come to know the knowledge of again the bonds. Okay, chemical bonds. So let me go through these chemical bonds in detail. So what do you mean by chemical bonds? See, in the last class only I had told you, and listen before we start. This chemical bond, what you are getting this knowledge from chemical bond to the types of chemical bonds and how there is a chemical bond takes place between the elements. These are all very much important for this lesson also, and even in the second next lesson is there for you, that is carbon and its compounds. For that lesson also this concept is very important. Even this important concept important for your college level also. Okay, so give the proper attention to that. We'll start continuing. Okay, what do you mean by the chemical bonds? Chemical bonds are nothing but it's a force of attraction. It's a force of attraction takes place between an atom of an element. Okay, children? See, it is a what? It is a force of attraction takes place between an atom of an element. Okay, so force of attraction of what? Force of attraction where it takes place between the atom. Between the atom of an element. Any element. Either it may be the element metals, non-metals, metalloids. Okay, inert gases, it is not take part in any of the chemical bonding or force of attraction. Okay, why we need? See, understood this? Okay, see, next, what is the necessity of this chemical bond? Necessity. What is the necessity of this chemical bond? The necessity of this chemical bond is to get an octet configuration. An octet configuration. First one, or to make the element stable. To make element stable. Okay, so stable and octet configuration, or to make the element complete. To make element complete in its reaction. Okay, children? See, what is the necessity of this chemical bond in between the atoms which takes place? Okay, so the first necessity is it should have the octet configuration. Octet configuration means, see, the electrons, as I told you, in the structure of an atom, we find there is a positive proton, no, at the center in the nucleus, and electrons revolve around it. In each and every element it will take place. In the element what we find? Atom. So atom, what are the constituents of atom? So positive proton and electron must be there in that. But see here, each and every element must be electrically neutral, children. Must be electrically neutral. What do you mean by electrically neutral? Means the number of protons must equal to the number of electrons. This is called electrically neutral. Okay, or we can also say it have that atom or that element have the stable, means correct energy. Listen here, how means if we heat the proper nutrients or the proper nutrition in our food, or if we get the proper nutrients, for example carbohydrates, fats, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals, what they are all? They are all the nutrients. If we are getting through our food in a correct or balance, then that is called balanced diet. This you know. That balanced diet makes the human being to fit and fine. Okay, so that if the person is healthy, if he is fit and fine, then that person will be stable. So he will be having the capability to react or to do anything. So likewise, in an element, for each and everything, we must make it stable. Now, see, sometimes we feel sick, or we will be sick. Now, why? Or we feel very less hemoglobin or the blood level in our body, or we feel very much exhausted or tiredness. Why? Because if whatever we are having, if we do not get the proper nutrient, then it will be unstable. Our body will be unstable. To make it stable, what we do? We go to doctor. They will give the proper treatment. Again, we will get the stable body. Likewise, in elements also, there will be deficient will be there, or lacking of electrons will be there. Okay, so if the lacking of electrons is nothing but the deficient nutrients. Okay, so to get it proper nutrient to that element, we need to take the electrons or we need to give the electrons. Understood? See, if I have the correct blood count in my body, then I can donate the blood to those who are having the needy people. Here also in the element, the same thing will happen. So metals always carry the electrons rich. Okay, it can have the capacity to give the electrons to the non-metals. This giving and taking or sharing of electron or transferring of electron is nothing but chemical bond. It is very much necessity. Understood? So to make it stable, we need to have the chemical bond between or the force of attraction between the atoms. Understood, children? Yeah. So see here, to make it electrically neutral or stable, the electrons must be in a proper number. I hope you have understood. Okay. So this is the necessity. It should have an octet configuration. I told you in my last class, the first ring K, L, M, N shells will be there. No? So K shells must have 2 electrons. First shell which is near to the nucleus. If K have 2 electrons, then that is nothing but stable. That shell must be stable. L shell must have 8 electrons. It gets stable. M shell must have 8 electrons. It gets stable. N shell must have 18 electrons. It gets stable. Okay. See, in detail in your 9th standard you have the lesson structure of atom and the second lesson also. So in that you will get the clear idea about the electronic configuration. Understood? So this I have already learned. Next, to make the element stable, as I told you. Next, to make the element complete. When it get complete, when the K shell have 2 electrons, that will be complete. If the L shell have 8 electrons, then that will be complete. Then M shell complete, N shell complete. Or we can also say octet configuration. Okay, octet is nothing but 8. Okay, the term octet means 8 electrons. For example, see here, K shell have 2 electrons, no? It is called duplet. If K shell have 2 electrons in the shell, then that is called duplet. If N shell have 8 electrons, that is called octet. Okay, M shell have 8 electron, octet. Understood, children? So like this, each and every shell except the first shell covalent bond. Understood, children? So ionic bonds or covalent bond. So let me move on to get what is ionic bond. Covalent bond later. What is ionic bond? The bond takes place between the metal and non-metals. Okay, so that is called ionic bond. The bond formed between the metal and the non-metal. Then that is called ionic bond. Understood? So here how these ionic bonds takes place? By the transfer of electrons. By the transfer of electrons. By the transfer of electrons, this ionic bond formed. Okay, by the transfer of electrons. So, what do you mean by ionic bond? Ionic is nothing but where the ions will be there. Ions, in the last class only I have told you, ions means which have positive and negative ion. Positive and negative ions, that is called cations and anions. Okay, so most of the elements here, or all the elements almost carries the positive and negative ion. Understood? So ionic bond is nothing but the bond formed between the metal and non-metal. That is called ionic bond. How this bond will take place? By the transfer of electrons. By the transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal. From metal to non-metal. Understood? Not from non-metal to metal. It is only from metal to non-metal. If the transfer of electrons will take place, then that is nothing but ionic bond, children. Because compared to non-metal, metals have a high energy in them because it carries the positive charge. Okay, metal donate the electrons. Non-metal accepts the electron. They make the complete atom of element into a electrically neutral or stable. Understood? So this kind of relationship by giving and taking, okay, then that kind of bond we call it as a ionic bond which takes place between metal and non-metal. See, you will get the question for 1 mark. Ionic bond formed between dash and dash. The ionic bond formed between metal and non-metal. The ionic bond formed by the dash of electrons, by the transfer of electrons. Just transferring, giving. Okay, so giving. Then that is nothing but ionic bond. So to get complete detail, so let me give the example, one general example for that. For example, take the one substance or compound NaCl. What is NaCl? What is NaCl? It is a sodium chloride. It is a sodium chloride compound. It is a compound which formed by sodium and chlorine. Sodium chlorine. Na is a metal which carry plus ion. Chlorine Cl is a non-metal which carry minus ion. Understood? So this will form, see, Na plus Cl minus. When the positive and negative electrons or the ions get attached, then it gives a NaCl. Understood, children? How NaCl? NaCl is nothing but sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is a salt where we are using every day now in in our day-to-day life or while preparing the food, that is nothing but sodium chloride which having the iodic content in them, which is very important for us. Okay, so see here, sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. Here how there is a ions getting in and it forms a compound. So Na plus when it have Cl minus, then it or when it react both it forms NaCl. Ma'am, is it can we write like this? No, you should not write like this. If you write like this, that will be wrong. Here when the ions they both carry, they mix together and they form a stable or electrically neutral. So this is a electrically neutral stable. Okay, here the ion exchange. I am saying it ion exchange, not the electrons. See here, if only this one is there, if sodium alone is there, then that is nothing but sodium atom. It is an element which doesn't have any carry. If you write like this. If you write like this, it is a ion. If only Na atom, keep it remember. Na plus ion, Cl atom, Cl minus ion. Understood children? So here Na plus Cl minus is raised to NaCl. So now let me see how there is a transfer of electrons takes place between metal and non-metal. How there is a